5, 6, 7 times. One notice is all we have to dump into these people. Because whenever you and I are pulled over, we don't get noticed 3 or 4 times. They pull us one time, we get snagged. On your state level, that's where you go to your governor. This is where you go to the Attorney General. You find out who risk management is. You go to risk management. You go to your Inspector General on your state side. You file a claim. They don't respond. You have now exhausted your administrative remedies. You now can go bring a tort claim against them. This new case that just happened here, this Millbrook versus United States, that just was, 2013, has stripped them of their immunity. We've got avenues here to go play with. We've got huge avenues to go play with. It's just that, how deep do you want to get into it? I'm in so deep now, I can't afford to back out. But I sit down and got into this knowing full well the consequences of what I was doing. And that's one thing that you need to understand, the consequences of your actions of doing what we're doing and the repercussions that could come back on you. If you're not willing to face the responsibility of it, then stay out of the game and get out of the ballpark. That's why I don't need you in the bleachers. This is not a kid's game. You're playing for keeps on this thing. You're playing with your life on this. This is a very serious issue of what we're doing here, because we're exposing a lot. And I do have some support in the background of people that I have talked to within the last day or so on some other issues that have told me good luck, because they understand what I'm doing. They understand why I'm doing it. And they wish me good luck on it. And it was from some of the people that was most unexpected to hear it from. But they did sit down and tell me, good luck, go get them. But ladies and gentlemen, like I said, this is not a kid's game that we're playing here. We're playing for keeps on this. This D.C. case, it is a huge case. The turmoil and what could come out of this, and the repercussions that could come out of this, is huge. It's probably one of the biggest cases that's ever been done, because to get a dismissal, win this case, this would overturn every gun case in this country. It would go back and show the fraud in every single gun case. If they don't sit here and play right, then we have went back and showed that there's no rules, no procedures, no lines, no nothing on their side of the fence. They're not following any set of rules. And all this stuff that Congress wrote up doesn't mean squat, because they're not following anything. And did I follow the letter of marque keen reprisals? Yes, I did. I went back and made the issue that I have been before Congress. I have got letters of marque and reprisals. And this is in one of the documents that Harvey and I worked on the private attorney general and on the letter of marque. And we're addressing the fact that if the court does not accept these as valid documents, and Congress does not have the authority to grant letter of marques, and Congress does not have the power to create the private attorney general, then Congress doesn't have the authority to create the courts. They don't have the authority to create the Attorney General's office, and they don't have the authority to create the U.S. Marshal's office. You can't come back in and say Congress doesn't have the authority to give the people the right that Congress has the authority to allow them to railroad us? I don't think so. These documents are pretty tight, and I don't know how they're going to answer them.
And we now know that they haven't answered them as of tonight.
Yeah, they haven't.
I'm going to be just so interested to see how they get out of this or what they do to retaliate against you. Something's got to give here.
Well, you know, and Harvey's right. The word retaliation he's dead right on this. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I've done something that nobody's done before. I've actually come into their sandbox and kicked sand in their face. I'm walking in here with congressional authority, and they know I'm walking in here with congressional authority. And I think that's what's got them rattled more than anything, is we're coming in here as the private attorney general on this. We're coming in as a bounty hunter on this. And I'm walking in here with letters of marques and reprisals that gives me the authority of Congress to take these people out of office and charge them. This is what's got their cages rattled. They don't know how to handle this because they can't very well come back in and say, Congress can't create acts like this, because the moment they do, then they have slit their own throat. That means that Congress can't create any acts for them. And this means all the laws that they have been trying to charge, Congress can't create those either. So even though we know Congress is not legitimate and has not been legitimate since 1860, they can't come back in and admit this, because if they did, then they don't have a position, because they could never have been put into a position for hire, because Congress never had the authority to hire them. Because we don't have a Congress, because we're under a state of emergency. The repercussions on this, ladies and gentlemen, is huge. This gets into a lot bigger picture of exposing the entire corruption of what we've all been dealing with here. And I've drug it all in. Let me take a caller here, up here at the top. April, go ahead. April?
Hi, Rob. You know what? You're touching on a lot of interesting things, stuff that I'm doing with some cases, and that was one problem I was having, finding the rules and regulations and the job descriptions of these people, because what I'm doing is trying to help people with child support cases, because we found out about all the fraud that's being committed in these agencies, and I have some of the workers there. They are just fed up. They want somebody to come in and clean this stuff up. And I have a petition on my Facebook page, and we're trying to get the signatures now, so we can get something done about it. But the hardest thing for me to do is find their rules and regulations and their job descriptions. We ask them for records. They won't let us review our records. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Nobody wants to talk to us. We're writing. We're putting in paperwork. Nobody's responding. It's crazy. And you're touching on a lot of things, because a lot of the stuff that we were doing, you're talking about the rules and the regulations and what they're supposed to abide by. They have this stuff buried so deep. We're digging and digging and digging. We're coming up with stuff. We're finding some of the stuff, but it's a lot we still can't find. And like I said, I had a petition on my Facebook page, April Cabbell at facebook.com, and we're trying to get these signatures now, because this fraud, it needs to stop. It really needs to stop. And I love listening to your show. I wish you the best of luck, and you're right. This is not a game. This is not a game. We are playing for keeps. And we recognize this, and I just want to do, what I have to do to make a difference, to help people, help myself, and get rid of this fraud, because it's crazy.
It is. Like I said, this is a very serious issue. People's lives are affected by this. Your lives, my lives, kids' lives. And this is not playtime, ladies and gentlemen. This is playing for keeps with these people, because when these people do what they do to you, you go to jail. This is not Judge Judy.
Yeah. And I just need to find more, so I can actually pinpoint, so we can bring these people in and do what you're doing, But we're stuck. We don't know where else to look, because they have this stuff buried so deep. I mean, it's driving me nuts.
Well, I do, but you need to get in to their administrative procedure side of this thing on how they need to get into the child service laws, or what the child service laws are, and go back in and address these, because they always take them out of context. It's like an incident that just happened here in the last couple of days. I've got a document. I went back in and I addressed the document, and I went back and showed the laws that were being used in this document were repealed.
Wow.
So you've got to go back in. You've got to check the laws, and you've got to go back and show where the laws, if they were taken out of context or if they have been repealed. And when I sit down and I showed the people, hey, you sent me this and this. Did you realize that these laws were repealed? And they went, holy crap, we didn't know this. I said, yes.
Yeah, and see, you touched on the Social Security Act from 1935, grants to the state. Now, under the grants to the state, Section 501, 502, like you said, we're bankrupt. We shouldn't have a debt.
Exactly.
And what they're doing in these agencies with these people, okay, you have child support. Child support gets a grant. And what they're supposed to do is when the people come in and apply for child support, it's supposed to be like a family thing. They're supposed to be able to do an application for the family with the Secretary of the State to get money out of the support fund to help these people take care of their kids until, they're able to do it on their own. They're not doing that. They're not giving these people full disclosure. They're not doing anything. And then I have a couple of people that I'm working with. They on the system. They're in welfare. Welfare got a department scheme going on. What they're doing is they're setting these people up saying that they're committing fraud. They get a grant. Welfare gets $16.5 billion every year in block grant money. And they leading the taxpayers to believe that it's coming out of their checks. It's not. Because like you said, there is no money. It was already paid for. Everything has been paid for us. So what welfare department scheme is, they're making the people look like they're committing fraud. Then they got these people paying this grant money back.
This is why we got to go back and bring the administrative claim. You got to go to the governor's office. You need to go to the attorney general, go to risk management, go into the treasurer, and then to the comptroller of currency, bring a claim in. And when they don't address it, this opens up the door for an administrative action against them because they failed to respond.
Yeah, and then they're doing the same thing with the child support. They get the grant, but they have people making child support payments. And it's not just the poor people. I've spoken to a guy, he's a longshoreman. Okay, they have shield officers. And then I found out about the CAFR account where they're putting this money in.